The rain came down hard on the empty highway, slicing the night into silver streaks under the flickering glow of broken streetlights. Inside a rusted white van, 14-year-old Lily Carter sat curled into herself, wrists bound with plastic ties so tight her fingers had gone numb hours ago. The smell of oil, sweat, and fear clung to the air. Her kidnappers, two men with hollow eyes and cruel. Laughter argued loudly in the front seats, unaware that every mile they drove was burning their faces into her memory forever. Lily had been taken 3 days earlier while walking home from school. 3 days of terror. 3 days of praying someone would notice she was gone. 3 days of pretending not to cry when the men shouted, when the van stopped in strange places, when doors slammed and footsteps approached. She had learned one thing quickly: crying made things worse. Silence kept her alive. The van slowed as it approached a roadside diner, glowing faintly through the storm. Outside, under the awning, sat a dozen motorcycles, massive engines rumbling like beasts at rest. Leather-clad men and women stood laughing, drinking coffee, their jackets marked with skulls, wings and fire. Bikers. One of the kidnappers cursed. "Damn bikers. Hate these guys," he muttered. Lily's heart began to pound so violently she thought it might break her ribs. She remembered something her father once told her before he died. "If you're ever in danger, look for people who protect their own. Firefighters, soldiers, bikers." The van stopped at the light right beside the diner. This was it. Her only chance. With hands tied, bruised and trembling, Lily leaned forward just enough for her face to be seen through the small rear window. She locked eyes with a biker standing closest to the road, a tall man with a grey beard and a patch that read Iron Reaper's MC. Slowly, desperately, she lifted her bound wrists and crossed her fingers. Twice, the universal signal for help. She'd learned from a viral safety video at school. The biker froze. Rain soaked his jacket, but he didn't blink. His eyes narrowed, not with confusion, but recognition. The light turned green. The van started to move. The biker didn't hesitate. He dropped his coffee. He raised his hand, and the night changed forever. Engines roared to life like thunder breaking the sky. One by one, the bikers mounted their motorcycles, headlights slicing through the rain. The van sped up, but it was already too late, because the Iron Reapers had seen the signal, and they never ignored a cry for help. If this moment already has your heart racing, make sure you subscribe, because stories like this remind us that heroes still exist. The van swerved as the sound of engines closed in from behind. One biker pulled up on the left, another on the right, their bikes flanking the van like wolves circling prey. Inside, panic exploded. "What the hell is happening?" one kidnapper shouted. "They're just bikers. Keep driving." The other snapped, though. Fear cracked his voice. Outside, the Iron Reapers moved with military precision. These weren't reckless riders. Many were former soldiers, cops, and rescue volunteers. They communicated with hand signals, blocking traffic, forcing the van to slow without causing a crash. Lily felt it, hope, sharp and terrifying. The grey-bearded biker, known as Marcus Grim Hale, pulled in front of the van, slowing deliberately. Another biker shattered the side mirror with a steel baton. The kidnappers screamed. "Pull over!" Marcus shouted through a megaphone. "Now!" Instead, the driver panicked, swerving toward a side road. Bad move. Within seconds, bikers cut off every escape route. One slammed his bike sideways, forcing the van into a ditch. Metal screamed. Glass shattered. Silence followed, except for Lily's sobs. The bikers surrounded the wreck. The kidnappers burst out, one running, one reaching for a weapon. He never got the chance. The Iron Reapers didn't beat them. They didn't shout. They simply ended the threat, holding them down until police sirens cut through the rain. Marcus rushed to the back of the van. When he opened the door and saw Lily, small, shaking, alive, his tough exterior cracked. He took off his jacket, wrapped it around her, and spoke softly. "You're safe now, kid. You did everything right." Lily broke down, clinging to him like he was the last solid thing in the world. Hours later, police confirmed what the bikers suspected. Lily was part of a trafficking ring. She would have been gone forever by morning. News cameras arrived. Headlines exploded. Kidnapped girl saved by bikers after brave signal. But the Iron Reapers refused interviews. Marcus said only one thing before riding off into the dawn. We didn't think twice. You don't ignore a child asking for help. Weeks later, Lily stood in front of her school telling her story. She taught other kids the signal. She thanked the bikers publicly. And every night, somewhere on the highway, engines still roar, not as threats, but as guardians. If this story moved you, inspired you, or restored your faith in humanity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because the world needs more stories about courage, awareness, and people who act when it matters most. The van lay tilted in the ditch, steam hissing from the crushed hood as rain washed blood and dirt down the road. For a moment everything was silent, too silent. Lily's ears rang, her heart hammering so loudly she thought it would give her away. She squeezed her eyes shut, waiting for pain, waiting for shouting, waiting for something terrible to happen. Instead, she heard boots on wet gravel. Heavy boots, confident steps. The back doors of the van creaked open, and light poured in, blinding, warm, unreal. A shadow filled the doorway, broad and solid, blocking the storm behind him. Lily opened her eyes. It was the biker she had signaled. Up close, he looked even more intimidating, scar running down his cheek, beard soaked with rain, eyes sharp as knives. But when he saw her bound wrists, the bruises on her arms, the terror frozen on her face, his expression changed. Completely. "Oh, God," he whispered. He climbed into the van without hesitation, ignoring the glass cutting into his knees. With hands that had probably broken bones before, he gently snapped the plastic ties like they were nothing. "You're safe now," he said again. Slower this time, like he needed her to believe it. "No one's touching you ever again." Lily tried to speak, but her throat collapsed. She nodded instead, tears pouring freely now that she didn't have to be strong anymore.